Greetings, everyone, and welcome to our School Spotlight presentation on Foxcroft School. I'm Darren Worcester, and I'll be your host today. Let me introduce you to Trey Adams. He's the Director of Enrollment Management at Foxcroft, as well as Larissa Bierman, who's an enrollment coordinator and an alumni. Trey, Larissa, take it away, please.
Thanks, Darren. It's great to be here. Foxcroft, exploring her unique voice. We're going to walk through a little bit today, mission, values, and promises of Foxcroft School, who we are. A couple of logistical things. We are located right outside of Washington, D.C., about 45 minutes from the Dulles Airport, which, yes, does mean that we do a lot of things connected with D.C. First, let's talk about our community. We make a promise that we're going to know and value each girl within our community. This means that our population represents quite a diverse grouping. We are 70% border and 30% day. We do have a unique day experience at Foxcroft, and that our day students actually have beds on campus. And we've got a couple of students in the Zoom, and I hope you'll ask them questions later on about what does that day experience look like compared to the boarding experience. 22 states represented, 21 different countries. Some of our countries include China, Colombia, France, Germany, Jamaica, Liberia, United Arab Emirates, Thailand, Taiwan, Switzerland, and Guatemala, just to name a few. The school has a dedication to global competency and global diversity in our strategic plans. It's important to us that your girl, when she comes to Foxcroft, have a global and diverse experience. 20% of our students are international students. 26% of our students identify as U.S. students of color. And 1% of our students are related to alumni. And what that means for us is yes, our alumni do make a commitment to the school and send their daughters back to Foxcroft. I think right now we've got, in our student body of 168 students, we have 7 or 8 siblings right now. So a lot of sisters coming as well. Within our campus, our resources are one of our greatest attributes. And by resources, I don't just mean the lovely bricks and mortar and buildings, I also mean the faculty and staff that live and work with your child each day. 96% of our faculty and 6% of our faculty and administrators live right here on campus. The core of campus where the students are located and where they live and work is in the center, and then around the perimeter are faculty housing, and then faculty administrators also live in the dorms with the students. This is, of course, the boarding school model, but we like the fact that the majority of those folks are here on campus at any point in time. 3,000 alumni nationwide and across the world who are resources for us and for our students to connect them with internships, to help them build networks, and also to provide them with life prep and real life opportunities for what comes after Foxcroft School. 1-to-5 faculty to student ratio, 74% of our faculty hold advanced degrees. Chair of our science department and the chair of our math department both have PhDs. We also have the chair of our humanities department who carries a JD, a law degree. So they have experience and know the pursuit of the advanced degree, but also bring that expertise back to Foxcroft to educate our students. And yes, as you can see, 26 countries represented in which our employees have either taught or lived. So not only do the students bring a global perspective, our faculty and staff bring a global perspective to the educational experience as well. This is Foxcroft's mission to help every girl explore her unique voice and to develop the skills, confidence, and courage to share it with the world. We are in the job of empowering young women. That's our focus. It comes through in everything that we do. What you're seeing an example of there is our ceramics class with our dedicated ceramics teacher. Students can take ceramics hands-on arts for years if they want to, at multiple levels, including up to the AP 3D level. It is important for us to recognize and hear from both the student and you what the student's hopes and dreams are for where they want to be and what they want to do, and then provide them with the resources to be able to accomplish that. That is key to the Foxcroft experience. Foxcroft has 4 values: respect, integrity, kindness, and service. that comes across on a daily basis in everything that we live and do. There is a respect for every student and person's voice on this campus, and every voice is heard. And we empower every student to offer their perspective, ideas, thoughts on whatever they want to speak about. Public speaking is a portion of the experience at Foxcroft. And one of the stories that I like to share was the first experience at our morning meeting where a student had stepped up and made a presentation. She stumbled just a bit in her presentation. And then there was a shout from the back of the room that said, "You got this, girl." Later on, I asked that student at the back of the room, I said, "That was really impressive that you did that to support your close friend." And she said, "Oh, Mr. Adams, I don't know her. She's new, but we've all been there." That respect for each person's voice and lifting each other up as part of the sisterhood. Integrity and honor code permeates our campus and is part of our tradition, just like it is at many boarding schools. Kindness is a key factor that also connects with that respect. Being kind to one another and understanding with empathy first. And then service. You're seeing a great picture there of one of our students who's volunteering at a local elementary school. Every Wednesday morning, a busload of about 40 girls loads up, or actually less than that, about 20 to 30 girls, depending on how many we have that day, load up and they head to a local elementary school to volunteer with them an hour in the morning before their classes start. So they're getting up early to go help these other students and volunteer and serve. Learning experiences. We like to say learn without hesitation. Everything we have is about engaging you and involving you. Foxcroft's promise, unique learning experiences inside and outside of the classroom. I do want to acknowledge at this point as we move on, you're going to hear a second voice as we move through the presentation today. Not just me, but from Larissa Bierman. Larissa Bierman is class of 2020 from Foxcroft. Larissa, are you there?
Hi, everyone.
Great. And Larissa, as we come to a slide that you're presenting on, just weigh in, please. I think we would love to hear your perspective as well as the alumni perspective before we get to the current student experience. College prep academics. A Foxcroft graduate is ready to learn and lead in college and beyond. It's about preparing them for what comes next and whatever that choice may be. Part of our rigorous academics means 70 to 74 different courses for 160 students on this campus, 19 advanced placement courses, opportunities for students to engage in something called academic concentrations, which is where they actually select a pathway that they want to explore in depth because they come in with that interest. One example of a pathway is, well, about a third of our girls ride, and we've got 60 horses on campus. Many of them come in expressing interest in equine veterinary medicine or large animal vet or animal science. So we say, great, you can declare that as an academic concentration. We'll help you with independent studies, service, and internship opportunities for you to explore that in depth as you take your college prep path, and even provide a credential for that on your diploma. College prep academics is also evidenced through our EP program, Exceptional Proficiency, which means that if a student comes in and they've got a particular talent or skill in an area, they're a competitive rider, they're a fantastic tennis player, they're a world-class gymnast or dancer, they are a competitive race car driver. By the way, all of those I've mentioned have been part of our EP program. That student can have an academic plan where they complete their coursework, maintain their commitment to college prep academics, but get to exit campus for extended periods of time to explore and continue to be competitive in whatever that skill is. For example, right now, we've got a group of girls who are down at the World Equestrian Festival in Wellington, South Florida, competing right now for in the World Equestrian Games. They are competitive riders, but through tutors, through remote learning, through advanced preparation of their work, all absences are excused from campus, and all academics are maintained. So when they come back to Foxcroft, they fall right back into the groove. This skills mastery piece that we have at Foxcroft is about instilling creativity, analysis and problem solving, cultural competencies, communication and collaboration. These are all 21st century skills that, as you can see, we know that girls want to do through hands-on. We like to say at Foxcroft, we are a school designed for girls, not a school designed to be without boys, because we do connect with boys, and we'll talk about student activities in a little bit. But we want to focus on empowering that young lady to find what she wants to find, discover what she wants to discover, and push herself forward in the direction she wants to go. And right there, you're seeing two students who are involved in our robotics team. We have a robotics team on campus, along with esports and several other creative options for girls to think analysis and problem solving in an applied world. What is best for girls? We focus on research-based best practices for educating young women. And yes, there is tons of data out there to indicate that young women are accelerated when it comes to their maturity, especially at this age level, comparatively to the other gender, and that they also have specific needs and interests that go along with where they are in terms of their maturity. Number one, they desire an interdisciplinary curriculum, ways to show that curriculum crosses over and connects for a real-world experience. So in that, we also provide experiential learning opportunities, internships, real-world ideas, real-world things. For example, our beekeepers that you saw on a previous slide, maintaining that apiary here on campus. They harvest it, they study the bees, they understand the biology, they understand how it connects to the larger ecosystem, that experiential and interdisciplinary curriculum intersecting together in synergy. Collaboration. Girls want to work together. They want to team up, and that's the way the world works. So beginning to educate them here and plant seeds with the sisterhood of a network that they can draw upon, that they can be a part of, and that will also help translate for real world life experience when they get out in the workplace or whatever comes next. Also, wellness. We are very focused on wellness for women, what their needs are, ensuring that they have downtime, ensuring that they have health and wellness time that focuses on that. And finally, ethical leadership, ensuring that the girls recognize that leadership has a service component and leadership is values-based. Every girl at Foxcroft will have leadership opportunities from the point that they walk in the door, advancing to that point when they graduate and go on to what comes next. Everything we do at curriculum is a saying we like to say at Foxcroft, from advisory program where we have small groups connected with an individual teacher, to dorm life, to the clubs, the weekend activities. You're going to see our modern naturalists there hiking, taking academic things that they've learned in the classroom and applying that to a social experience and a real world student activity that they got to do outdoors in a local state park. Curriculum, we are always on at Foxcroft. Larissa, at this point, I'll pause. Were there things you wanted to add?
I think at the moment I'm looking forward to sharing more about our extracurriculars, including the writing program, our extensive athletics, and going on about more about leadership and how our girls feel empowered to use their voice through leadership, and what Mr. Adams is about to talk about through theater and other aspects of Foxcroft.
Thank you, Ms. Bierman. This slide that you see, Ms. Bierman's got some excellent data points to talk about when it comes to student life and athletics coming up, which happens to be a focus area for within our department. Stage and life presence. The idea here is that, yes, the arts is ingrained at Foxcroft, but being that performer and having that public moment where you're on stage speaking and sharing who you are and more about yourself is the foundation of who we are and what we try to do for the young women that we're educating. So that can mean something as straightforward as being involved in that musical production from whatever role you want to be, whether it's front and center like the young lady you see there, if it's backstage, if it's in one of the chorus roles, whatever that spot is for you, making sure that it's designed for you. We focus on that. And that is also about life prep, making sure that there's that confidence, that self-advocacy, and that independence that's instilled in the young lady. So when she's out in whatever that world situation might be, she is empowered to use her voice. She's empowered to step forward. She's empowered to advocate for herself. And she's confident in who she is and what she believes. We're excited that we're currently constructing a brand new wing on our new academic building called the Mars STEAM Wing. The Mars STEAM Wing is going to be state-of-the-art laboratory and studio classrooms focused on science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. This will open in January 26th. So if you're part of this presentation and activate application for the upcoming year, yes, that means that your daughter would have access to it or your student would have access to it in the middle of the year next year. Construction is currently going on. And I asked Darren before we began our presentation, can you hear anything in the background? Because I hear banging outside my windows right now. So it's an active campus where we are building for the future. And again, providing access to resources that our young ladies need to grow and develop into the human beings and the people they want to be and deserve to be. Just like I told you, experiential learning, how everything is curriculum, we have actually integrated this building construction into our curriculum at Foxcroft. So there was a seminar that currently goes on this year and started last year on the STEAM build, where the students were involved in understanding both the architecture and the engineering associated with that, and even the design principles and elements that were being applied. So seeing how the science and technology, engineering and mathematics collided in the creation of this new structure that's coming up on campus. So it's hands-on, actually involving our engineers and construction and architects in that educational process. They get to meet people involved in that industry and working within that field. One of our other promises is a beautiful campus. And our slogan is, it's girl country. This is a place to run. This is a place to use energy. This is a place to revive. This is a place to enjoy the beauty of what surrounds you and absolutely engage it in a very full way. Foxcroft's promise, an uncommonly beautiful setting in which to learn, grow, and thrive. And yes, there are horses that are part of our equestrian program. Miss Bierman, you are a rider. Would you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, so Foxcroft has a very extensive riding program that has grown since I was here 4 years ago and will continue to grow down the road. Foxcroft program focuses on hunters, jumpers, and equitation style of riding, and our trainers are equipped to teach beginners all the way up to advanced level riders. A unique aspect about this program is that students have the opportunity to ride during the academic day during a free period or a prep period, which results in small group lessons, about 1 to 3 students in each, that give a very individualized instruction. We also have a percentage of students that ride in our program as well as play another sport on top of that. Just this fall, we had 55 fall riders, and with our 60 stall barn, we housed 25 to 30 school horses, along with 20 to 25 privately owned horses brought in by our students. About 18 to 20 weeks were spent competing at rated shows, including 2 national finals, and students attended about 3 to 5 local shows. Also, we hosted multiple in-house shows due to our new outdoor riding ring that was recently built. And as stated before, with our exceptional proficiency program that allows girls to continue their talents and passions off campus, specific to riding with the EP program, our students do have that opportunity to ride in Florida during the winter in the Winter Equestrian Festival down in Wellington. From January to March, these girls will go down, and through the use of tutors, they're able to ride and continue to stay in touch with their teachers to stay on top of their work.
Thank you, Ms. Bierman. Place-based learning, we take advantage of this uncommonly beautiful campus we have, 500 acres. That includes Goose Creek, a water source that runs through it, includes a lot of topography, includes not only the horses, but also the paddocks, includes the apiary, outdoor classroom space, plenty of areas, again, to run, grow, and learn. That place-based learning means utilizing our full campus as a classroom. And if that means that for environmental science, we need to be down at Goose Creek, that's where we'll be. If it means a mathematical application that draws upon walking around the exterior of campus and looking for geometric shapes, then by golly, that's what we'll do. The idea is that the girls think of the world as a classroom space as opposed to just a box with 4 walls. It's important for us to see that applied education happening with our students. So again, they know how to take the subject areas that they're learning about and the content that they're getting here and applying that to real world problem solving. Our backyard is DC. And you can see from the beginning of the year there, our picture of our full campus right there on the National Mall with the Washington Monument in the background. It is a tradition. It is a experiential trip that we do every year. It is a endemic piece of our heritage that our proximity to DC means getting our girls connected to and in DC. Almost every weekend, there is a student activity or opportunity to get out and connect with that. That means not only the museum resources of DC, but also diplomatic resources, leadership, service resources, taking advantage of the center of government for the United States. So DC is the heart of our nation and our own backyard. A healthy mind and a healthy body. We want you to know that your daughter is supported at Foxcroft not only by having this wonderful multidisciplinary experiential education kind of journey, but also that we have a team of people that are very focused upon how she's doing. The research indicates that a girl that is socially and emotionally healthy will actually perform better academically. So it behooves the school and the student and the teacher for us to pay attention to how your daughter is doing. How is her wellness? What is she feeling? We have a student support team that's key members of campus. They get together in small groups to talk about individual students as needs come up. We have Foxcroft 101 for all of our new students coming to campus, and maybe even Hadley could pipe in a little bit about that later on. That is an opportunity to understand as we come from four corners of literally the world together in our 9th and 10th grade as new students come to this campus, a 9th through 12th grade school. How do we assimilate them together? How do we bring them together as a community? And how do we help them understand the traditions of Foxcroft and what it looks like in terms of the pattern of the day? This means executive functioning, time management, organizational skills, all those pieces too. And wellness is actually integrated in a Wellness Week program that we have at Foxcroft to remind the girls that take that moment to focus on who you are and how you feel, because when you focus on that, you'll find that your studies are better. You'll find that you'll perform better academically. And quite frankly, you'll find that you're a better, feeling better human being as a result as well. How about athletics, Larissa? Tell us about that.
Thank you, Trey. So Foxcroft's athletic program offers a very wide variety of competitive options for our students to participate in. Specifically, we have 17 teams in 11 different interscholastic sports. Not including everything, but some shout outs to field hockey, tennis, volleyball, lacrosse, basketball, competitive rock climbing, and our newest added sport, swimming. So whether your daughter is a seasoned field hockey player or learning to rock climb for the first time, our coaches are really here to support the girls and help them achieve their goals. The past 2 years, we've had 2023 graduates and 2024 graduate sign letters of commitment to either play or ride at the Division III collegiate athletic teams. This year, we have 2 students, one going off to play soccer in college, as well as someone going off to play field hockey. This fall, we had 3 athletes given all-state awards, as well as our varsity tennis team who won the GPAC Conference Championship match, and who are also awarded the Player and Coach of the Year in tennis.
And by the way, on that, Larissa, you talked a little bit about the EP program earlier on, as I did. We actually have an EP tennis player, a young lady who's number 2 in the state of Virginia for singles, and I think number 1 for doubles. But at any rate, she spends a lot of time off campus traveling to compete, but can come right back to campus and fall right back into her academic studies without any penalties for absence. So the athletics program is robust at Foxcroft, and Larissa's an example of a student and alum who's passionate about it and got to participate in it as well. Vertical classrooms, so learning through athletics. Larissa, we spend time at Foxcroft utilizing athletics as part of curriculum, and you spoke about that. The teamwork, the dedication, overcoming obstacles, achieving personal goals. We believe that athletics is as important a factor to your daughter's education as the academics. It provides that well-rounded, holistic perspective that we have with regards to education at Foxcroft. And again, anybody in the room that participates in athletics, you know that there can be that relief from getting that physical activity after a long day of work or being involved in something that's particularly stressful. So it intersects with that wellness program in ensuring a healthy mind and a healthy body. Understanding hearts. Sing, girls, sing. Foxcroft's promise is a residential community of understanding hearts, a group that is connected not only to one another and builds a network together as part of a sisterhood, but is connected to the wider community. There is an old saying that boarding schools are a bubble, and that what happens inside the bubble stays inside of the bubble, and rarely do we explore outside the bubble. Not the situation at Foxcroft. Our commitment to experiential learning actually demands that our girls stay connected with the local community of Middleburg, our regional community of Loudoun County and Washington, D.C., and actually on a national and a global level. So that service component is very important to what we do and integrated within the curriculum. It is also a community of belonging where every girl matters and every girl is important. We believe that her voice is one of the most important in the room, and we believe in a community that supports one another. So just as you can see the joy on these faces from a trust fall and all the smiles, that's what our girls believe in for one another. The example that I provided earlier of the young lady who shouted out, "You got this, girl," from the back of morning meeting, to a young lady that she didn't have a significant relationship with, but recognized we've all been there, is the support that we look for in kind of the peer support structures here. Your friendship group at Foxcroft, young ladies, holds you accountable, and you will help hold them accountable as well. A community of honor and high expectations. We do have a level of rigor at Foxcroft because we're a college prep community, and we make a commitment to parents and student that we will help your daughter launch to the best appropriate place for her. We help her through that college placement process to find the institution that is the best match for her. That means we have high expectations for her performance, but not expectations that exceed her capabilities. Just continuously lifting the bar, encouraging higher goals, and linking it to the map for her future and where she wants to be and who she wants to be. Student leadership is part of this process, so civic engagement and social action, having an active student council, whips and prefects are our leaders in the dorm who oversee dorm life and support that. Important traditions, even programs like Model United Nations that connect our global competency and our global citizenship with leadership as well. It's important to us that each young lady be lifted up into that leadership position most appropriate for her. The student council is the only way to be a leader. Being the president of a club isn't the only way to be a leader. Leadership has many roles, many designs, from captain on a team to that student who develops and designs something unique that we've never seen before and then chooses to share it and use it to empower others. These are examples of some of our clubs. Larissa, would you lean in here and talk about student activities and clubs?
Yes, so along with our vast range of different leadership opportunities, we offer many opportunities to engage in activities on and off campus. So we have many different student-run clubs, and yes, I did say student-run, so our girls will come in and share their interests with the community and then build a club out of it. So these clubs target a variety of interests, from pickleball leagues to cooking clubs to groups participating in service opportunities. The girls have many options to choose from at our club fair at the beginning of the school year. Along with that, we offer many different fun opportunities on the weekends. While these clubs mentioned before may host events on campus, our Office of Student Life also plans many adventures off campus in collaboration with our activities committee, who are made up of different students and faculty members. Just to throw out some examples, we hold an annual trip to King's Dominion in the fall, weekly trips just down the road into Middleburg, trips into DC to see museums and performances, different dances and mixers with other boarding schools in the area, among many other activities. The girls really do have many options to choose from. And then, so during this next slide, we will be talking about a very unique aspect of Foxcroft, which is our sleeping porches, which is our dedicated space for sleep. So back in the beginning, when Foxcroft was founded, our founder, Miss Charlotte, created these sleeping porches to promote good physical health by having the girls sleep in screened-in porches. With central air now and glass windows, this space is really dedicated in creating good sleep habits by eliminating distractions like schoolwork and technology and other daily life. Another perk to this is it also eliminates the possibility of roommate arguments when one student may need to stay up late to do work while the other is ready to sleep. So as you can see, the sleeping porch truly is a long porch with bunk beds down the row. Kind of reminds me of sleepaway camp. Along with sleep, girls may sometimes use the porch to read, journal, or just wind down. From personal experience, having gone to Foxcroft, having a dedicated space to sleep that isn't your own bedroom can seem a little odd. But personally, it taught me to separate my daily life schedule and my sleep schedule. So, for example, I opted to start studying in the library instead of my bedroom, and having my TV and my desk in my living room instead of in my bedroom. So, like I said before, sleeping porches are a very unique piece to Foxcroft, that I don't think I've seen at other schools. And we do have two students here that have joined us on the call, Anna and Hadley. Would you two like to speak on your experiences with the sleeping porches? Anna, would you like to start?
Of course. Hi, I'm Anna. I'm a senior here at Foxcroft. I'm also a transfer student. I transferred here in 11th grade, and when I first heard about the sleeping porches, I am not gonna lie, I thought they were nuts. I was not prepared to not sleep in a room that was not my own, and I was afraid that somebody was going to disrupt me and I wasn't going to be able to sleep. And instead, I have opted to make my room at home kind of like a sleeping porch. The sleeping porch is a technology-free zone, so when going to bed, you can't stay up late on a blue light, and I've opted at home now to start, sleeping with my phone downstairs or out of the room. It helps me separate, again, like Miss Bierman said, study from sleep, which I didn't realize I had such a problem with. But I am a retired bed studier. And when I would study on my bed, I would find it hard to turn my brain off because I kept thinking about my homework. But the sleeping porch, whether you're going to bed for the night or just taking a nap, it's so nice just to have like a room dedicated for sleep so that I'm not worried about anything else.
I agree with that. I also relate to that, not being well, separating my mind from schoolwork and sleeping with technology. I now also complete my work in my dorm, and then in my sleeping porch, I'm able to just go to sleep so fast, especially it can be mirrored in my own room as well. And then also, I feel I'm a day student, and so for me, it's easier for me to have a bed here at Foxcroft. And then, so if I need to get up in the middle of the morning or early in the morning and just go to an activity that I've signed up for, or on the weekend if I need to, being able to go there as well if I need to, rather than staying home and having to wake up extra early to go to Foxcroft.
Thanks, Hadley. Thanks, Anna. Thanks, Larissa. It was important to me to be the one that toured you all and showed you the sleeping porch, but that for three residents, or at least for Larissa, former resident of Foxcroft, had the opportunity to describe it with their experiences on the sleeping porch. A lifetime of friendships. Being a part of Foxcroft means being a part of a sisterhood. This is a slogan we like to say, cross our hearts. Foxcroft's promise is that the girls and the relationships and the networks that you will build here will be those chats that will remain open for years to come, will be the girls that our alumni say they want to invite to their weddings, they want to spend time with and hang out with. These will be touchstone points that will be important for important social and emotional relationships that carry on for their entire lives. Part of the way we do that is through the Foxhound experience. Larissa, as a loyal alum and now back as employee of the school, can you talk about what Foxhound is?
Yes, so Foxhound is probably one of our most well-known, most beloved traditions on campus. Basically, from the moment you step onto campus until the day of graduation, you are immersed into an endless list of traditions that bring the whole community together, students and faculty alike, and even the faculty children join in sometimes as well. But one of our most loved and well-known traditions is Foxhound. While the school is divided into two teams, the students are really truly friends to the end, no matter the amount of competitiveness. Through competitive games, sing-sings, which are kind of like pep rallies, and specific events aimed for the new girls, you will graduate and continue to keep your Fox or Hound spirit alive. And it truly does not stop there. Alumni will come back to campus from far and wide to attend different Foxhound events that they loved while as a student. And alumni will always ask, the very first question to every student on campus is, are you a Fox or a Hound? And As we talked about earlier about student leadership and involvement, Foxhound is really no different. Completely run by student leaders elected by their fellow classmates and supported by faculty sponsors. This tradition is put together by dedicated students that share love so deep for the school and its history.
And there you can see slides from a recent reunion where our alumni were back having fun, even holding up a hound there that you might see or a dog. So now's the invitation. We invite you, your family, your daughter to come run with us. Be a part of this unique community of foxes and hounds that explore, think deeply about things, have fun, but engage in academic rigor, believe in values and integrity, and are launching to great lives after their experience at Foxcroft. We're looking for some great girls right now. This is why we invited you to this webinar, and this is the hope is that you'll reach out to us if you think you've potentially got a future fox or hound. What questions can we answer? Darren, have you got some for us?
Trey, I think you ended here with the invite for girls to come run with you. So I think the natural next question is looking ahead. Your application deadline is coming up fast. I see it at January 31st. So for someone who maybe is just learning about the school now, that may give them a bit of heart attack thinking about how they're going to get all those things done in 3 days. So what would you say to them?
Absolutely. So we are in a growth mode at Foxcroft. So we've got admission goals for the upcoming year. The board has just approved me to invite additional students into the school, which means that we will be continuing to vet candidates and vet applications over the next 4 to 6 weeks. If you feel from this presentation that your daughter might be a good match, or if you're a student in this presentation and feel you might be a good match, reach out to us at admissions@foxcroft.org or at trey.adams@foxcroft.org. You even saw our head of school's email address at the end of the presentation because she wanted to remind anyone here that she is happy to chat with you about the experience. If you've started an SAO application, Darren, we know a lot of folks in this call may have, you can simply tick off the box Foxcroft, add us to the mix, especially if something spoke to you in this presentation. You might have heard it from Anna talking about her experience. You might have heard it from Hadley in terms of a new girl coming into this environment, or Larissa from saying this is the product and it really works, or maybe from me and something that I hit. If something spoke to you, it's not hard to check that box for Foxcroft and add us to a receiving school for your SAO.
Excellent, great. And there is a tip on if you are doing the SAO and you're adding Foxcroft and you've got some things to do, make sure you check the option to let them know. Because I'm sure while Trey is open to more applications, I'm sure he wants to know that you are thinking about it and can begin the conversation with him as soon as possible. All right, so along those lines, any special advice for financial aid applications given the time of year?
Great question, Darren. Yes. Add those as soon as possible. We utilize the Clarity system for our financial assistance. So if you've applied for financial assistance at another institution that utilizes that, it's as simple as an SAO checking an additional box and adding us to the recipient list. But we also have coming up the end of this week, I think actually February 1st is the official deadline, even though it falls over the course of the weekend, our merit scholarship applications for 2 of our most significant scholarships on campus. That would be the Bedford Fine Arts Scholarship and the Mars Scholarships for Leadership and Service. If you visit foxcroft.org, click on Admissions and Affording Foxcroft, you'll find application materials there. And we just had a department meeting not too long ago and realized that we are short on Bedford and Mars applications. We would love to have some more applicants there. So if need-based financial assistance is still available, and it is, we also still have merit scholarship assistance available too, and it's not too late to apply, Darren.
Excellent. That's great to hear. Just going down the list of application questions, what about international applicants? Anything else that they need to be aware of or focused on at this point?
We want to Zoom with them. We want to meet you. We do ask for some sort of English language testing. We are not an ESL school where we teach significant English, so it's important that we have some English language learner testing, and we also have opportunity to Zoom with you. It's also a good time for me to get you introduced to one of the international ambassadors and to Kate Tomaskovich, who's our Director of International Student Services and would be the student's advisor when they're on campus.
Perfect. What is travel like for boarding students coming in and out of school? Is it easy breezy? Do you guys provide a shuttle? How does that work?
Great question. So, right, we have shuttle trips that we assign on those kind of major dates when the campus is closed, by the way, so that families know we really only close 3 times a year to boarders, and that's going to be at Thanksgiving, at the winter holiday, and then also at a 2-week spring break. We don't take those banker holiday weekends, 3 days, Darren, because that's tricky for a student from Thailand or somewhere else to get home and not be jet lagged. Also, for that week-long Thanksgiving break, for any boarders who are out of the country or boarders that don't want to travel that long distance away to the West Coast, we can help engage them with day students or with local boarders as well. We do provide shuttle transportation to the airport. I shared early on, Dulles is 45 minutes away. And Union Station, we're in downtown Washington, D.C. for train access to the Northeast, is also only about an hour away. So we can arrange for pickup, drop-off times at both those spots.
Perfect. Another question we've gotten from an attendee, is there a placement test to determine course level for incoming students, or do you have another method for that?
Well, we do use, this isn't a plug for you guys at EMA, but we do use the SSAT. It does help us a lot with indicating student competency in certain levels, but we recognize that a lot of students coming through the pandemic haven't had that standardized test experience and are still working on those skills. So we do offer an authentic placement test here on campus for world language and for mathematics to help find their best level.
All right. I think we probably try to get the students involved in some of these questions. What's probably for all of you, what's weekend life like at Foxcroft?
I'm a boarder, so I stay on campus most weekends. I'm a senior, so I do have a car and I'm able to go off campus. Weekends for me, typically I am waking up way later than I should to go then check in at brunch in the dining hall. And then most of the time, my friends and I, Saturday, try to knock out all our homework. Like that's the goal, is just get in the library and just knock it all out. Granted, some Saturdays we do just come back and we put a movie on. My friends are very outdoorsy, so we like to go on walks and just talk and talk and talk and talk until the streetlights come on, and then we say, "Gosh, it's kind of late. We should go to dinner." And then yeah, we mostly watch movies and walk and read and do homework, but sometimes we go on weekend trips. Our personal favorite is definitely when they take trips off to concerts and to record stores. That is just what we like. As you can see, Kurt Cobain on our wall back there. But that is one of our favorite trips, and we have vouched for it so much that it's kind of become a regular thing, which is just wonderful. And we are always the first 4 to sign up. Always.
Thank you, Anna, for making me not feel as old with the Kurt Cobain reference there. Hadley, how about you?
Hi, I'm Hadley. I'm a sophomore and new student, and I'm as well as a day student. And so for me on weekends, I can definitely say I'm a bit of a homebody. So once on Friday night I get home, I definitely crash through the weekend. But I do know a lot of Friday nights, on every so, I might stay over for like a weekend activity that I find super fun, which is definitely often. And I usually either go out with my friends with the daily Middleburg trip or to the fast food frenzy, which we host a lot too, going out to Leesburg outlets and just going shopping with my friends there. But yeah, and thing I find super helpful about Foxcroft is there's always an activity for everyone, whether it's going out to the local Middleburg or, like Anna said, going to concerts or going shopping, which a lot of my roommates love, or just being able to chill at Foxcroft and study at the library and just cozy up with a nice book.
Awesome. Thank you. Trey, you mentioned before the close proximity to DC and a lot of that you guys are often doing things. How frequently, are you integrating students into activities in DC?
Yeah, we definitely get to DC always at the very beginning of the year, or it's been a tradition to get students into DC at the beginning of the year to kind of launch a partnership with DC to make sure they can see it as visible, especially those students who are not native to the region or don't live in the region and don't recognize the proximity of DC, to begin those girls thinking creatively about, oh, well, could there be a winter mission internship I want to do here? Or I really enjoyed that Smithsonian Museum. When it comes back up again later on as a student activity, I think I want to attend. Or, wow, I can't believe the White House is this close. What does that mean, having the Capitol building here? There are opportunities for me to engage with federal government kind of leaders leaders? Are there ways that I can get connected there with my congressman or just to learn at least about how the structure of our government works? Having two JDs on campus also really helps with that, Darren. They engage the students a lot in talking about civics, given that DC is close to us. So long answer to a short question, essentially, there's plenty of opportunities built into both student activities as well as the academic side of our curriculum to get students into DC. A lot of times groups like, well, Anna mentioned the vinyl trip that got into DC because there was an access there to the vinyl store. Our Model UN competes in DC a lot. There are fairs and activities that our students will go to as well, in addition to DC proper. Really and truly, we like to show to the girls or explain to the girls, you've got this tremendous resource. How do you want to use it? But we're going to give you some examples through student activities and internship opportunities to get those juices flowing in terms of ideas of how to utilize DC.
That is great and very exciting, I think, for your students. Probably switching gears for probably the question you get all the time in the admissions office is an all-girls school. How do you at Foxcroft prepare your young women for a co-ed world?
Well, I'm going to let them lean into that in just a minute. I'll give my short spiel, and then Anna, Hadley, and Larissa want to hear from you all on this as the products. But first of all, I do like to tell the girls that come in, it's like we don't hate boys at Foxcroft. Like we invite boys in to be a part of our experience, and we believe that the world is a co-ed world. We just believe in making sure that we celebrate and provide resources for girls. But Anna, Hadley, and Larissa, how about you all weigh in on this one? Thoughts on it?
So, as I've mentioned, I'm a transfer student. So, I came in my junior year here at Foxcroft and I transferred from another co-ed boarding school. So, I went from co-ed to single sex, and the change for me was drastic in the way I was able to learn and my comfortability on campus and the relationships I was able to form. It is a little weird when we have mixers and there are boys on campus because everybody's like, oh my gosh, there's a boy, there's a boy, there's a boy. Oh my gosh. But I feel like we do enough with other male schools, specifically like Woodbury and Blue Ridge and Fuma, that we are able to kind of integrate. And again, like Mr. Adams says, there's no hatred towards men here, which, helps kind of go out into a co-ed world. I'm going off into college next year, and I feel like I am more comfortable in knowing who I am here and being able to grow and make mistakes without the pressure of having the male sex around because, again, we are teenage girls. But I think being more comfortable in like a single sex setting has really been able to form who I am so that I can go off in the world and like, again, know who I am and not let it change me.
I definitely agree with that. Like, I came from a co-ed high school, a public co-ed high school, and I definitely feel that I've grown louder in the classroom and going to like more, asking more questions and just honestly being able to learn quicker without any just, as well as doing more sports. I feel like a lot of sports I'm able to with my friends and just being free with that as well. And then we also, like I said, we don't hate boys here, but we have so many mixers. I feel like also one coming up on February 8th. And past recently on Martin Luther King Day, we painted rocks with the Blue Ridge boarding school and really did service with that, just with that, including co-ed sex, but also being a single sex school, it really helps me focus academically more as well.
I'll come full circle with it, having been out of Foxcroft for 4 years. And what's interesting is my older brother also graduated from an all-boys high school as well. And I reflected with him at some point, and we actually kind of had the same reflections coming out of it, is that we both found more confidence in ourselves being in that same-sex education. And specifically for me, I have found I'm able to voice my opinions in a stronger way. I matured in a way that I didn't think I would without Foxcroft. And just overall finding confidence, and exactly what Anna and Hadley said was finding myself and finding out who I am and my interests and my passions. Yeah.
That's excellent. Thank you all for sharing your perspective on that. We do have a little bit of time, so if anybody has any last questions, get them in. But we got a couple more questions here to ask, one thing in the pre-conversation meeting we had about this that really surprised me because from what I've heard, this is really unique. Boarding schools often talk about day students being very well integrated into their campus, but I think Foxcroft takes it even further. You guys have beds in the sleeping porches for the day students. Can you talk a little more about that, please?
Students, I'll let you guys weigh in on this, Hadley and Anna. What's it like, especially Hadley, I guess, because Hadley's a day. I'll make one comment, which is I had a student tell me at one point, Darren, that it's hard to tell the difference between a day and a boarder initially, unless one of them declares it. So, Hadley, you want to jump in, then maybe Anna too?
Yes. So for me personally, as a day student, I have four roommates, two of which are border students, and the other one is a day student like me. And so I find, like Mr. Adams said, there really isn't that much as a difference between us as just one stays the night more often and the other doesn't. But I feel personally for me, I help out with Banneker Buddies. So early on Wednesday mornings, we go off and help with the local elementary school Banneker. And I feel for me, like when Mr. Adams toured the sleeping porch, having my own bed really helps me being able to save on sleep and just feel welcome, just having my own space there as well. And I feel like for activities as well, day students and board students are equally opportunity to go to different activities alike. And there really isn't any restriction from where day students can go and border students can't.
My roommate last year was a day student, and I'm currently rooming with another boarder, but she was one of my best friends last year. She is still one of my best friends, and you really wouldn't ever know that she was a day student except for the Thursday nights when she would go off campus, and then she'd be in my room Friday morning when I woke up. But being a day student at my past boarding school, it definitely was not this integrated. All of my other friends were day students. I maybe had one or two other friends that were boarders, but there was a clear separation. Foxcroft does such a good job at integrating their day and boarding school students. I mean, I was really shocked when I saw this just coming from like a different experience, but I didn't expect my roommate, who was a day student, to stay as much as she does, stay on the weekends so that she can hang out with me, take me home with her so that I could be off campus. And she's one of my very best friends. And it honestly, it feels like she's a boarder basically because she just is always here with me.
That's wonderful. Thank you. All right, we are down to our last question. So I'm going to pose this one to Hadley and Anna. What surprised you about Foxcroft? You were all in the prospective student seat at one point in time, and after you made your commitment, what's something that was a surprise for you and you didn't expect coming in?
For me, it was the student-teacher relationships that you are able to form as most of our faculty lives on campus, and some live in the dorm. And with a faculty member being on duty every night in your dorm, you learn all about them. I'm a student leader, so on Sundays I am down in the lounge checking and signing people in with my duty partner, Miss Mora, and she was new this year and I'd never known her. And she is a Foxcroft alum, and she comes down with all sorts of things, and she tells me all sorts of things about her college life and her Foxcroft life that just baffle me because I just could never imagine our Sing Sings being held in my dorm's lounge, like nothing like that. But being with the faculty on campus, you become more comfortable having difficult conversations with them, specifically about, the tests that you kind of failed because, you didn't properly prepare for it, or, your grade is just not quite where you want it. You want a little extra help. I am a person who is very, like, I am not great at asking for help, but at Foxcroft, I have found that I had so much more comfortable going to my teachers being like, I need a little help. I need a little more support. Like, I don't know what's happening. And they are more than welcome to just pull you in and be like, okay, come on, let's settle it down. Let's, let's create a plan to help you succeed. And that is something I didn't receive at my last school. And this just has elevated my learning experience, how I view my problems, my confidence in the classroom. And that's what surprised me most.
Excellent. Hadley, how about you?
I definitely agree with that, how teachers are here as well. But for what really surprised me here was how sports are. So coming from a public school, I really only did one sport there, and it wasn't even mandatory. While here, it is mandatory to do a sport for all 3 seasons. But and I was really worried for me how I would balance that like school and sport work life and how homework would play into that. But I found it really easy to talk with coaches as well as if I have this really big homework thing, but just that. And also how sports teams are. I personally have never played field hockey in my life. And so coming onto the team this year, trying out as a new student, I found it really easy as the coaches really helped me ease into it, as well as just like practicing is just such a supportive environment and just being able to manage both being an athlete, being both an athlete and a student, and just how Foxcroft helps merges those together.
Wonderful. Thank you. Trey, as we wrap up, do you have any parting words for the audience?
Thanks so much, Darren, for EMA for providing this opportunity for us. I just got to give shout outs to Anna, Hadley, and Larissa. I really appreciate seeing you all in this today. And the audience may not know this, but Anna and Hadley didn't know they were going to be participating in this 24 hours ago. And when we had to do some shifts at the last minute, they're like, sure, Mr. Adams, I'd be happy to. So I really appreciate you all stepping up. They're great, fine examples of Foxcroft girls. And again, having the alum in the room is always great too. Larissa, I love having you in my office. And thanks so much for sharing today as well. Darren, just reach out to us. Anybody's got any questions? We're here for you. You can use that link that was dropped in the chat. You can email us at admissions@foxcroft.org, whatever works best.